I want to make a fun Halloween card next. This one is really cute and uses some new products also from the Holiday Mini and some from the Big Book. And the first thing I want to do is actually show you a new scoring tool that we have. This is called Simply Scored, and it has these place markers up here at the top that you can take out and pop in and move to where you want your score line to go. Another ruler over here on the side, and it has the stylus down here at the bottom that just pops in, and it also has up here a little hidden compartment that you can store your little markers in or whatever you like. So the first thing to do to score your card would be to take it, and I've put the place marker at 4 1/4, and I'm just going to lay my black cardstock right up in here and take that stylus tool and just draw straight down, and I get my score line just like that. So this is a good way for scoring that's easy to use, not too difficult. And the next thing I want to do with this card is I'm actually going to stamp the inside, because I'm going to use white craft ink and it takes a little bit of time to dry, so I'm going to let that dry while I work on the rest of the card. This is a beautiful set called Hand Penned Holidays, and it's got some great words for Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, and even Valentine's Day or anniversary. So I'm going to use the Happy Halloween, of course, and I'm going to turn this over with the clear mount because the craft ink is a little bit sticky, so that it just doesn't pull the rubber off of the clear mount block. So I've inked that up, and then I'm just going to stamp that here onto the black cardstock, and then I'll set that aside and let that dry. It only takes a couple of minutes. Here in Florida it takes a few more than normal just because it's so humid here. Stuff here. And this is called Frightful Sight. It's in the Big Book. Love this paper. And I'm going to use the stamp set Wicked Cool. This is one that's also in the Big Book. And I'm going to use a new wheel called Halloween Hang-Ups. And this is really a fun, cute wheel. So I've got my jumbo handle, and I've put the ink cartridge in, and I've got the design here. And I'm going to go ahead and just wheel this design right across some pumpkin pie cardstock. And so now I've got my design here all wheeled across, and it's got some fun little characters all look like they're hanging down. So I want to put this rickrack across the top, and then there's also another scallop piece here. And those two are done using the Big Shot. Again, love the Big Shot, and the Tasteful Trim die. So what I'm going to do is bring my Big Shot over here, and this is a long die. It's an XL die. So you need the long clear plates for this one. And I'm going to put the black cardstock here on the scalloped edge, and then I'll put another piece over here onto the rickrack piece. So I've got two that I'm going to run through at one time. You can actually do 3 layers of cardstock at one time. I only have 1 layer, but I'm using 2 different patterns on the die. I've got these little pieces. I'll move the die so you can see that better. It'll be a white background instead of black. There we go. Now we've got these 2 pieces that I can put onto my card. So I'm going to run some adhesive across that one, and then stick this down like that. And I had cut it a little long just so I could pick out which edge I liked best, the way that turned out. And now the rickrack, I'm actually going to use a 2-way glue pen to hook this on, because it's really narrow. You could use your snail adhesive, but I think this just gets across there a little bit nicer, and you don't have any extra snails sticking out. And I'll put that across the top like this. I'm going to stick this onto the pattern paper, Frightful Sight. So I'll put my snail on there and stick that down. And I'm going to use some of our new mini brads. These are really cute. They're teeny tiny little silver brads. So I will punch a couple of holes here, up here at the top of the pumpkin pie cardstock, and put those little mini brads through. Go ahead and put my snail on here. Attach this to the front of the card like so. Okay, now to get the witch's hat, I'm going to take some white cardstock, and I'm going to go ahead and stamp this cute little hat with basic black. Just ink that up really good and stamp that on there. See how nice that looks. And then I'll cut that out, cobweb in the background, and I want to use pumpkin pie ink for that. And I want it a little bit lighter. So what I'm going to do is ink up the cobweb, and then I'll stamp it onto the scrap paper first, and then stamp it onto my cardstock. That way I get a lighter version of it. And I'm going to take the word spooky and ink that up with the basic black and stamp it right over the top of that cobweb. And then I'll use the large oval punch and just put that up in here and punch out spooky. And I'll use a dimensional to hook that onto the front of my card. Okay, there I've got the witch's hat cut out. So I'll put a dimensional on the back of this. Put that right above like it's sitting on top of the spooky. And now I'm going to use a new product called Dazzling Details. And this is glitter glue in a bottle, so it's not messy at all. And I'm just going to squeeze that right onto the witch's hat, and you can kind of move it around with the tip really easily. And it gives you that sparkle without the glitter flying around. So there's my spooky card, all ready for Halloween. And I've got my beautiful Happy Halloween inside. Hope you like that one. See you soon.